Hey folks, I'm a little late to the party, but great news. I have the new 600mm PF in to test out over the next week. Now, say what you like about Nikon being late to the mirrorless party, all true. You have to give them credit that the way they built out their lens range in the last couple of years is meteoric, and there's some super high quality optics, the best they've ever made, and they've really built out the long lens range, I think, quicker and probably more completely than any other brand has ever done. Of course, let me know if you're in the Z system what gaps you still see and what you would like to see added, but we have so many options. So I'm just going to throw out there some of the different combinations we could do, and I want you to leave me a comment below. What would you like me to do to test this guy out for you? So here's some lenses you might compare versus this one. First of all, the 800mm PF. Now you can see a significant size difference between them. They're both f6.3, so that goes some way to explaining why the 800 is so much bigger. We do also have a 600mm f4, and this is the PF version. I'm not sure that we're ever going to see an 800mm non-PF lens. But, you know, comparing them against each other, the 600 is just so much lighter and easier to handhold and take around. But keep in mind, if you want to add a TC to get up to this length, you're going to be way behind in terms of your available aperture. Now, in terms of, well, I have a lot more lenses to come, by the way, but in terms of prices of these guys, the 600mm is cheaper at $4,800. The best thing about this, I think, is that it's coming in at just under 1.5 kilograms. So it really is hand-holdable for a day of shooting with your Z8 or Z9. Now the 800 is $1,800 more expensive at $6,500. Instead of the large 95mm front filter thread that the 600 has, if you're buying one of these, factor in a lot of money for filters if you use them. The 800 has the rear drop-in style of filter, so less expensive. This one is coming in at 2.4 kilograms versus the 1.5, so that is a significant difference. Just as a size comparison, here's the 500mm PF from Nikon F mount. Now, of course, you have to add in F to Z adapter on this guy to really make a comparison, and then it's going to be very similar. Next up, this is the 100 to 400. This is an S series lens. Once you zoom it all the way out, it actually becomes, even though we're not going to have such a nice shape, let's put this one here so I can keep comparing them to the 600. It actually becomes slightly longer. The 100 to 400 is 1.4 kilograms, so just a few grams lighter than the 600 prime, and it's $2,500 with a 77mm front filter thread. Next up is what I still think is the best value lens in the Nikon Z range. It's the 180 to 600. It's a beautiful lens. It doesn't extend as you zoom. It isn't an S lens, but it's also a 5.6 to 6.3. So at 600mm, both of these are f6.3 lenses. This one is significantly heavier though, the zoom lens, but it comes in at just $1,700. And I know just seems funny when you're talking about that kind of money, but in this pantheon of lenses and how well this one performs, I think it's fantastic value. What do you think if you're a Nikon Z shooter? What's the best and worst value Nikon Z lens currently in the lineup, as well as what you'd like to see them add, whether it's on the roadmap or not? And whilst you're at it, if you're in the Z system, go ahead and please check out my Nikon Z setup guide. It takes you through every single camera in the system, from the entry-level APS-C through to the Z8 and Z9 and the new ZF. It keeps getting updated with new cameras. It takes you through all of the physical controls on every one of the different cameras. So when you buy one, it'll explain everything physically to you. It shows you how to initially set up every single camera in the system, and then it goes through a menu deep dive showing you what the range has in terms of all the different menu options and how you can further customize the camera for your style of shooting. Link for that one's below. Last lens I wanted to put into this comparison is the 400mm f2.8 with a 1.7 times built-in teleconverter. Really different kind of markets on these guys. This guy is an absolute chonk, 400mm f2.8 versus 600mm f6.3. They're not really in the same league, but they are all within the current, range. Now the 400 2.8 is almost exactly double the weight at 3 kilograms. This guy also has the drop-in rear filter thread. It does, as I said, have the built-in teleconverter, and this one is coming in at $14,000. Now, they're expensive, but these kind of lenses always have been. You know, the 800mm f-mount lens was something like $16,000, $17,000, and you know, still available for sale at B&H Photo. So what I'm thinking, there's a couple of pairings here that I think people will be really interested in. One will be the 600 versus the 180 to 600, and one will be the 600 versus the 800. So going with the modern PF lenses that are not too completely out of this world in terms of price. So I'm thinking to go do birds and wildlife and maybe some portrait photography, maybe with these as well. I've got the 3 of them on loan for the next week or so, so please let me know as a comment what you would like to see. I will be checking them and then trying to tailor the filming I do over the next week or so to answer as many of the questions that you guys have. I'm sure that the 600 PF is going to be really interesting for people in the same way the 400 f4.5 lens, you know, brings this kind of a lens to a much broader audience. Well, so does this guy compared to the 600mm f4. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the Z lineup. Do check out the Z setup guide below, and I'll see you guys soon.